And what's going on is nothing but success, nothing but getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Lions, my debut album is on the way. I came in here 2 days ago and I told you that I was rearranging certain things, the songs that I wrote for last month. I'm not really feeling them anymore. Um, I'm just going to, listen to some beats when I go to the studio in a few weeks. And then I'm gonna write and record on this spot. I feel like, it'll be more better doing it like that. The title of my album is changing. It's not gonna be called No Loverboy FR anymore. I'm not gonna announce the title, but the title is changing. I think the title is so much better from what I'm hearing in my head. You know what I mean? Um, so I want to talk about just the iTunes and everything like that. To everybody who is streaming my music, like listen, 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 listen. I want to make this clear. I see the people. I see the people streaming my music, and I also see purchases on iTunes. Okay, so to the people that are purchasing on iTunes, keep purchasing. Keep telling your baby cousin, sister, mama Tracy to purchase whatever song may have you. You can purchase my album. When the album comes, when the album drops, I really need you guys to purchase that. Um, I'm not in control of the pricing. My distributor does not let me control the prices, but when the album drops, I need y'all to make sure that y'all are getting that because I can see that y'all have been getting my singles. And I'm really appreciative about that. A lot of upcoming artists, especially artists in my position, artists with, not just the biggest follower count or anything like that, can sit up here and say that, hey, I receive monthly residuals from my craft or my music or whatever. And one thing I can say, I'll tell the distributor, but the distributor that I signed to early October is phenomenal. Like, I thought I was gonna have some problems with them. We had a little problems with Bigger on YouTube and stuff like that. But as far as the, just making sure that the royalties are coming in, making sure the statements are statementing, I appreciate them for that because the statements do statement, and it's very much so coming in and doing exactly what it needs to do. You know what I mean? Um, I'm just very, 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 very grateful and very thankful to everybody who's been rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? We still have a lot more work to do. I still have a lot more work to do. I still have to keep grinding. I still have to keep going. But to everybody who's been streaming my album, to everybody who's been streaming, excuse me, not my album. My album is not out yet. To everybody who has been streaming Bigger, which is going to be on my album, and streaming Ain't No Loverboy FR, thank you so much because the iTunes purchases have been doing what I needed to do. Like I just said, a lot of upcoming artists, especially ones with a lower follower count like me, cannot say that they make money from their music every month. They're publishing. Ownership is the best thing. I fully own myself. And, I feel like I'm already making billions and millions of dollars already just because I own myself. So, a lot of upcoming artists can't say that they make monthly checks. Like I just said earlier, I'm really grateful to my it's the God honest truth. A lot of upcoming artists can't say that. I said this earlier in my live. My distributor, I thought I was gonna have some problems with them, but here we are. A couple months later, and I feel like they've done a phenomenal job because they make sure that the pay is coming in and monthly. So I'm really appreciative of that. I'm really thankful. I'm really grateful, and I just want to make let this be known because it's unrare, it's unheard of. And a lot of upcoming artists, they just care about the name. They just care about the fame, the numbers. They don't care about the back end pay. They don't care about, getting their residuals. I'm big on getting my residuals. I don't want to feel like in 3 years I'm having to force myself to put out an album because I ran out of funds for what I'm working on right now. In 3 years, I'm not going to say exactly what, but you know what I mean? Like, I want my work to be, the beauty of it all that I feel like is beautiful is that I have systems set up already. So, these same systems are going to carry me throughout my whole career. And if you know what if you get my drift, it's just ownership, y'all. I just feel good that I have multiple checks coming in a month from my hard work. Nobody's put me on. Nobody has shown me what to do. Like, from my hard work, like Googling, researching, what do I need to do to be one of the top artists in the game, from my, and not just the top artists, but the top paid ownership. I'm very big on that. So that's why I always say I'm grateful. I'm grateful to myself. I'm grateful to the people rocking with me. And most importantly, I'm grateful to the Most High Divine for, just giving me the talent to really just focus on my craft. Honestly, one thing I learned or that I'm learning is that, because the residuals are coming in monthly, I don't have to force, I was just so hell bent forcing my Instagram count up, forcing my YouTube subscribers up. I was just so hell bent on that. And it's like now that I have these systems in place, the monthly checks are coming in from, my royalties and stuff like that. I don't really care about, the numbers. I don't really care about if I have 10,000 subscribers. I don't really care about because I make money from my music every month, every 3 months, every quarter, every month. I have multiple checks coming in, my books and stuff like that. The same thing that my mother and people told me to give up on is what's paying me. And y'all just don't understand how beautiful that is. Like, that is beautiful. I never gave up, and I never will give up. And, I'm only in the beginning, but I feel like this mentality that I have is going to take me throughout my whole career. You know, ownership is very, very, very important to me. And just, to come from where I come from, a small town, and like to see that I did that and I got my own checks coming in every month is wonderful. It's wonderful. The publishing clears every quarter. I love it. I am, I am in the process of getting another, like getting a new publisher. That's some, I may address that, I may not address that, but either way, it'll still be full ownership, and I'll still own everything, that I'm doing. I think it's just very, very important because, a lot of people felt like I was going to need them, not a lot of people, family, people where I come from, like they didn't understand that I was bigger than the program, and I'm very much bigger than the program, because I'm self-made. Like, I was sitting there thinking yesterday, like, I am self-made. Oh my God. Like, I could have melted into the floor like into a puddle of caramel chocolate. I could have, because like I'm self-made, and it's like people, haters, envious people who thought I was gonna need them. And it's like, oh, you were not a part of, we didn't hire you. We didn't hire you. And it's like, in all actuality, I never needed anybody but myself, because when it comes down to it, from day one of me doing what I've been doing, I was the one that was in that 2001 Honda Civic, broke down in the front yard recording on Band Lab. I was the one doing that. I'm the one who made it from 2020 up to here. I did that. I put in the hard work, so I take it very seriously. I take it very seriously because why I put in the hard work. um, you know, I could have chose any other dream to align with, but I chose an expensive one, not because, because it's just because that's what I want to do. I like singing. I'm an entertainer. I like performing, you know what I mean? So it's just what I've always done. I remember when I was a kid, I would like, dress up, for my mama and go downstairs and like, act like a preacher. And, I would just be singing and just doing a bunch of stuff. Like, I have the whole story, grew up in the church, all that, all that, all that. But the difference is that like I'm self-made. I feel like if more people had their hand in my cookie jar, I would be taken advantage of, because deep down inside, I'm very much a nice person. But things in my life had to go the way they went to show me that the people who quote unquote rock with me did not rock with me. I think we see a lot of stories of people in Hollywood or just where they are right now. As somebody like at my age, and then when they get 10 years later, they they've made wrong deals, wrong business decisions. So it's a lot of things that they wish they would have done. I'm already ahead of the game. A lot of the things that most artists, I don't necessarily feel like the peak is at 30. I don't feel like a person should ever peak in their life, because we always are continuing to grow. But the things that I'm doing right now, a lot of artists aren't doing until they're 4 albums in, and they're in a contract and they want to get out. You know what I mean? So that's why I say the systems that I have in place right now are going to last me throughout my whole career. And I'm not going to speak on everything right now, but when I when I sign certain things and I accomplish certain things, I will be letting you guys know what is going on, because I'm self-made, and I think it's very, very appreciative. A lot of people, especially my family, and a lot of people who aren't chasing, I got to stop saying chasing, because I'm not chasing it. I'm aligning with superstardom. A lot of people who aren't in this industry feel like, oh, you got to do something, to make it, or it's just a whole bunch of blee blah blue. You know what I mean? It's like, get over yourself. It's 2026, not 1997. All right. You know what I mean? So it's like, just get over yourself a little bit. And I just feel like that's a misconception. I feel like because I come from a small town, my family, it's just weird. And it's like, in the end of the day, y'all, I'm gonna be more paid than them. I am more paid than them, and they tried to tell me to stop. They tried to tell me to stop, and I'm more paid than them. You know what I mean? So it's like, the same people who told me, like, I remember my mother was telling me, you can have a dream. I just remember people telling me I wasn't going to be shit ever since a little boy. I remember that. People telling me I'm not going to make it. And I just remember that. And like, to this day, going, in this next era of my life, I remember those thoughts. And it's like, I am going to be shit. Matter of fact, I'm the whole damn commode. I'm the whole commode. I'm the whole commode. So, with that being said, I think it's very great. And even the people who, if they're coming by the Lions Den, they may jump on the live, they may jump off, or they may see me on Instagram. It's going to come a time where you're going to be like, wow, he did it. He did it because you have so many people in life who just talk. You know what I'm saying? I talk, but I back it up. It's rare that you meet somebody who is multidimensional, such as myself, that actually has a plan. I execute it and I make it to where I say I'm going. Because see, what I have is not just, it's inside. You know what I mean? It's either you have it or you don't have it. You know, when you're younger, you know who you're going to be, you know what you're going to become. And I know who I know. Superstar, legend. I know it, And for the first time in a forever, you know what I mean? For the first time in no, for the first time, period. It's like I can see my dreams manifesting into reality. And it's crazy, and you may be like, what's the manifestation? The checks, the money. That's the manifestation, that's what's rolling in, the visibility, the numbers rising. Y'all, it's so many ways to like, build a career. I thought I was just gonna build my career, off of going on YouTube so active. I thought I was gonna just build my YouTube up and like I've just went, different ways. I'm building my Instagram. I'm learning, I'm learning. I'll never forget when I was on live and I said I'm becoming, and somebody in the comments said, okay, Kamala Harris, but I'm literally becoming. I mean, I don't know. I'm growing every day. I'm kind of like, how you get a child who just learned how to walk and they like teeter-totter their way through it. That's how I am. I'm just like teeter-tottering my way through it strategically and smartly. I feel like, not even I know because the proof is in the pudding. That's how I got here. Just making sure that I'm doing my due diligence when it comes to my research, it's just what I want to be, what I want to do. And, I've seen a lot of people make it to the top in the fall. I've seen a lot of people, make it somewhere and come right back to where they're from. And I just won't be one of those people. And then I think people like my mother and just different people, they wanted my dreams to be, just a dream. And you won't ever find somebody in a position like mine, growing superstar, to be so real and so candid about things in their life. However, people like my mother, who thought it was just a dream, and it's like, it's my reality. I'm doing great, and I'm doing great without them. And I just think that's very important, y'all. I'm 24. I've had the world on my shoulders, and I'm building a multi-million-dollar career. You know what I mean? And I'm doing it by myself. So that's a lot of weight on top of real life. That's a lot of weight. And anybody else would have folded. Anybody else would have given up. Anybody else would have listened to the outside opinions. But when you have a goal, it's not even about necessarily having a goal. It's about knowing that the goal is meant for you. When you have a goal and you know that it's meant for you, you don't care about the outside opinions. I don't care about the outside opinions. And what clarified it even more so is just me looking at my statements and seeing, hey, this is working for me. This is working for me. You know what I mean? This is working for me and it's going to continue to work for me. Give me 1 second, Lions. Because like I said, give me 1 second. A lot of upcoming artists, they only care about, just they only care about their Instagram views, their subscribers. They only care about the numbers. I'm not a facade type of artist. You know what I mean? I'm not a facade type of person. When you see me, when you hear what you hear from me, I'm the real deal. I am the real deal, for real. I don't care about appeasing people. I care about appeasing myself. This I don't care about if people look at me, oh, he only has 1,000 subscribers. And I bet you I'm making more. I bet you my publishing is more than yours. I bet you my my distribution checks are more than yours. I don't care about the thousands. The fact that I have 1,000 subscribers and I'm receiving checks anyway is just, I can't imagine where I'll be when I'm at 10,000. I can't imagine where I'll be when I'm at 100,000. You know what I mean? Because I'm only getting bigger and bigger. Hence the song Bigger and Bigger. I never needed people to validate me. It's like people are gonna get it or they don't. Even if people don't get me right now, they've always come back. They've always come back because eventually they get it. And I want people to understand it's not an individual thing of, if they don't get me, the world won't get me. The world will get me. The world gets me. I'm not a local sensation. I'm a global sensation. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm bringing something to the table that the world nor humanity has ever seen before. Do I know exactly what it is? No. I know exactly what it is, but am I just, planning or orchestrating? I'm just going off of who I am as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know my talents, and I know if we were on a football field, a lot of these other artists will be tackled, touchdown. I'm eating them up. If being an artist was like football, I'll be at the Super Bowl every year. I'll be at the Super Bowl every year. Give me 1 second, Lions. Because nobody is doing it like Mason Jarry. I want to give a major shout out to Simply Nadia. My sister's name is Nadia. and Aku Abe. Um, so that's just pretty much that. So thank y'all so much to everybody streaming bigger on iTunes. Not streaming on iTunes, but purchasing on iTunes. And I'm gonna keep telling y'all. What was I telling y'all from the jump? I was saying purchase on iTunes, purchase on. I was telling y'all that. And y'all did it. Like, oh my gosh, Lions, we're really eating them up. Like, y'all, please. They tried to tell me to give up on. Who give up on what? Give up on what? Like the fact that we've been talking about this for months and like y'all didn't let me down. I appreciate that. That means all my previous months of hard work of saying, hey, go get it on iTunes. Y'all was listening and y'all been getting it on iTunes. I'm at the point now, I'm not gonna say that, but I'm at the point now where at the rate I'm going, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm at the point now, at the rate I'm going, that's all I'm gonna say. Thank you, Lions. I really appreciate you. If you're new to the Lions Den, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are not new, then you already know what's going on here. And what's going on here is success, abundance, and everything in between. Why? Because I'm Mason Jyree, and that is me. With that being said, debut album on the way, bigger. Everything is just going good, y'all. I felt like I had to force my way, to chasing my dreams and stuff like that. I don't gotta force my way to nothing. It's aligning for me. It's coming to me. I'm doing great. I'm literally doing phenomenal. I'm doing fucking phenomenal. So thank you guys so much. I want to thank myself as well because I'm the one, actually putting in the work. But I want to thank y'all for rocking with me, being receptive of what I'm putting down. Whether y'all, you as an individual wanted to or not, you'll come back around. You know what I mean? And that's just, and I feel like, having the type of career or having the type of, legacy arc where people are, they come back around to you. I feel like that's even more better because that means in a way you had to feel like when people come back around, that means in a way they felt like you weren't going to be who you were. So I love that because that means I showed you up. That means time I showed you, and that's just a testament to my life. All I have to do is keep going. I was trying so hard to like make it work for me, and it's like it's meant for me to be a superstar in various different shapes or forms. It's meant for me to do what I'm doing, success, stability, fame, notoriety, respect, top of the charts was always meant for me. It's always meant for me. You know what I mean? So, I'm just telling y'all what's going to come to pass. I'm just telling y'all what's going to come to pass. You know what I mean? So it's like, hoes can be bitter. I got family members now that are mad as hell that I'm achieving. They mad as hell that I cut them out of my pie. They mad as hell that I'm not dealing with them. But why would I deal with them now when I'm getting bigger and bigger and getting richer and richer when I was broke, didn't have a pot to piss in, and nobody helped me with anything? It's true what they say. When you start making it to the top, the people who didn't help you are the main ones with a pot, that want some help. The main ones that have an opinion. And I'm the type of person. The money's already rolling in, but when the public starts to see it, don't ask me for anything. If you're my family or friend and you haven't done anything for me, your best bet is to go chew on some rocks. Maybe try to swallow some sand before you come over here playing with me like that, because I only do for people who have done for me. This past year of my life, just this whole past years of me just being broke and being an artist has been tough as hell. It's only been a few people who have been there for me, and those people who have been there for me will be at the top with me, and it's that simple. But listen, if you haven't, that's just that. The time to be kind, and this is to the people outside of the den. This is to the people where I come from. You know what I mean? This is to the people where I come from. I have alliance all across the globe: Alabama, Mississippi, New York, Canada, Haiti. I have lions all across the globe, but this is specifically for the people where I come from. Home root type of stuff. Because see, the home root, people from my hometown felt like that my success lied on the back of them. My success lied on the back of me, ho. My success never lied on the back of anybody else but myself. I'm the one that's been putting in the work. A lot of people feel as though, but when I make it, they are guaranteed access. And it's like you're better off swallowing sand, chewing bricks, or trying to fillet shit than playing with me like that. You know what I mean? Don't. So, that's great. That's that. We're doing a lot of big, 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 big things in the Lions Den. I'm keeping it hot. I'm keeping it spicy. I'm keeping it everything that they are not. Listen, when you look at me, you better know he's a success. When you look at me, you better say he's a self-made success that people tried to stop. People said he wasn't going to be anything. People said he wasn't going to do anything with his life. He is self-made. He's self-made. And you want to know something to my Lions who really rocking with me, to the people who are really rocking with me, to the people who really love me, I want y'all to know this. As much as y'all love me, it's hating assholes out here who don't love me, but it's like for weird reasons. All because I shine, or all because I'm doing me, all because I'm living my life, all because I have a light within me. People want to take my light and try to use it for themselves, okay? With that being said, if I had a gavel, I would. If I had a gavel, I would. All right, then I had to bring that back real quick. Don't forget to tell your baby cousin, sister, mama Tracy, that your guy Mason Jyree is in the Lions. Keeping it spicy, and I'm keeping it hot and spicy for you. Most important, I'm keeping it hot and spicy for me, but I'm keeping it hot and spicy for my Lions. You want to know why? And you want to know the demographic of the Lions? The Lions are people who are working on something. My Lions are people who have been slept on, unappreciated, undervalued, overlooked, talked down upon. The people who are overcoming poverty, the people who are overcoming struggle, the people who are overcoming depression, the people who are overcoming anxiety, the people who are overcoming body dysmorphia, the people who are we are the ones. We are the ones. That's what my Lions Den is made of. This ain't no average round the way fan base. For one, this is a supporter base with fans. This is a supporter base with fans, all right? We're doing something, Lions. I am building something that the world has yet to see. And I'm glad and grateful to have y'all a part of it. I'm so glad and so grateful to have y'all a part of something that I've been working on for almost a decade. In 4 years, it'll be a decade. Ain't that crazy? In 4 years, it'll be a decade of me doing this. And I'm just at the point where everything is starting to pay off. So I appreciate y'all for that. Keep rocking with me. Keep loving me like I'm loving you. It's your boy, Mason Jyree. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Au revoir.